She told our therapist, "He has anger issues. I'm honestly scared of him." I just nodded. "I understand." Then I packed a suitcase, moved out, and filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. Her panic when the court ordered her to attend anger management. Original post: I, 41 male, am writing this from a beige-colored extended-stay hotel room that smells like industrial cleaner and old coffee. It's been 72 hours since my marriage ended, and I'm still running on adrenaline and that weird, cold clarity you get after a shock. We were in couples counseling. Again, this was our third therapist, Dr. Reeves, a woman who looked permanently placid. My wife, Alara, 38, and I had been together for 12 years, married for 9. The last 2 have been difficult. It felt like walking on eggshells. Any minor disagreement, me working late, forgetting to buy the specific brand of oat milk she likes, suggesting we save for a vacation instead of renovating the guest bathroom, could spiral into a multi-day storm of slamming doors, crying, and accusations. I went to therapy to try and find the old Alara. She went, I'm realizing now, to build a case. We were sitting on the plush, uncomfortable sofa. Dr. Reeves asked Alara why she felt disconnected from me. Alara took a deep, shuddering breath. Her eyes filled with tears. It was a masterful performance. It's his anger, doctor," she whispered, looking at her hands. "I can't bring anything up, ever. He's like a coiled spring. I'm honestly scared of him." Dr. Reeves's pen stopped moving. She looked at me. The room was utterly silent. I could have argued. I could have listed the dozen times she had screamed, the plates she had broken, the remote she threw so hard it dented the drywall. I could have pointed out that my anger was just silence. I learned that arguing, engaging, even raising my voice, only made it worse. So I shut down. I became a stone, and she was now painting that stone as a weapon. I saw the whole chessboard. This was her checkmate. She was laying the groundwork to paint me as an abuser. Any protest from me would be proof. So I didn't play. I looked at Dr. Reeves, then at Alara. I gave a slow, deliberate nod. "I understand," I said quietly. Alara's head snapped up. This wasn't in her script. The tears just stopped. You what?" "I understand," I repeated. "You're scared. I get it." The session ended 20 minutes later. It was the quietest car ride of our marriage. I don't think she knew what to do. The victim and aggressor dynamic she had built was shattered because the aggressor just agreed. We got home. She went to the kitchen, poured a large glass of wine, and stared at me, waiting for the explosion. Waiting for the anger she'd just reported. I went to our bedroom. I pulled my old duffel bag from the top of the closet. I packed 3 days' worth of work clothes, my toiletries, my laptop, and the charger. "What are you doing?" she demanded from the doorway, wine glass in hand. "You said you were scared of me, Alara," I said, zipping the bag. "I'm not going to put you through that. I'm leaving." "You're leaving? Like for a drive?" "No, I'm leaving. You shouldn't have to be scared in your own home." I walked past her. I grabbed my keys. I went to the hotel I'm in now. I checked in, opened my laptop, and spent 2 hours researching divorce lawyers. I found one with a reputation for dealing with high-conflict personalities. The next morning, I was in her office at 9 a.m. I retained her. I told her the whole story, including the therapy session. "She's building a narrative," my lawyer Melanie said. "Good thing you didn't fight her. You did the smartest thing possible." "What now?" I asked. "Now we file. But we don't file for abuse. We file on the simplest, most boring grounds possible, irreconcilable differences." I signed the papers. By noon, I had an email from the hotel's front desk that a process server had been by to get my signature. I'd arranged it. By 3 p.m., Alara was served at our house. Her reaction was not what she'd planned. The phone calls started almost immediately. Dozens of them. I didn't answer. Then the texts. "You can't be serious. You're divorcing me? After one bad therapy session, you're a monster. You're proving my point. This is what your anger does. Julian, come home. This is insane. You're scaring me." That last one. "You're scaring me." The same words, but that the meaning was totally different. Before, it was a weapon. Now, it was panic. I replied with one single text, which Melanie approved. "Alara, all future communication must go through my lawyer, Melanie Bishop. Her contact information is in the documents you were served." Then I blocked her number. I'm sad. My marriage is over. The woman I loved is a stranger who tried to destroy me. But mostly, I'm just tired. I feel like I just put down a 100-pound backpack I've been carrying for years. I don't know what happens next, but I'm not scared. I'm the one who's not scared for the first time in a long time. Update 1, it's been 3 weeks. To say things have escalated is an understatement. The extended stay hotel is now my temporary home. I've settled in. The beige is calming. First, thank you for the comments. It's validating to know I'm not crazy. Many of you predicted what would happen next, and you were spot on. The entitlement is nuclear. Alara hired a lawyer. A real shark, the kind of guy you see on billboards. 2 days after I blocked her, Melanie received the first volley. It wasn't a simple response. It was an ex parte motion for an emergency temporary restraining order. The filing was a work of fiction. It painted the therapy session as the climax of years of emotional abuse and intimidation. It claimed my anger issues were volatile and unpredictable. It said my calm, I understand, was a veiled threat. My leaving wasn't de-escalation. It was an act of punitive abandonment. The filing demanded exclusive use of the marital home, which she already had. I left. That I be ordered to stay 500 yards away from her, the house, and her gallery. Emergency spousal support to the tune of $8,000 a month. That I pay for her lawyer immediately, $15,000 retainer. That I be forbidden from touching any of our assets. Melanie called me. She's trying to get you kicked out of your own life and force you to pay for it. The judge granted the temporary order ex parte, which is standard. They always err on the side of caution. Our hearing is in 10 days. We need to prepare. That's when I felt the first real spike of fear. The system believes this stuff. I'm a man. She reported fear to a doctor. I could be royally screwed. Then the dirty trick started. This one came from her sister, Leticia. Leticia, who has always thought Alara was a delicate flower, started calling my mother. My mom is 70. Your son is a monster, she apparently shrieked at my mom. He threw Alara out on the street. He's abusing her. He cut her off financially. My mom, God bless her, is not a weak woman. Leticia, my son left his home and is living in a hotel. He didn't throw her out? And abusing her? Alara is the only person I've ever heard throw a $300 blender at a wall because the smoothie was too pulpy. Don't call this house again. But it shook me. They were going after my family. Then, the hearing. I was terrified. I wore my best and only suit. Alara was there, dressed in a subdued gray dress, looking pale and small. Her lawyer was slick. He painted me as a cold, calculating, and angry man. He used Dr. Reeves's notes, which only said, Alara reports fear of Julian's anger. He fled, Your Honor, the lawyer said, to avoid accountability. He immediately filed for divorce to silence her. Then it was Melanie's turn. Your Honor, Melanie said, her voice sharp and clear. My client did not flee. He de-escalated. Ms. Vance stated, in a therapeutic setting, that she was honestly scared of him. Believing her, Mr. Vance immediately removed himself from the home to ensure her stated safety. He has been at a hotel ever since. His filing for divorce was a direct, logical response to his wife's statement that she was terrified of him. What marriage can survive that? Alara's lawyer scoffed. He's the abuser, not her. On that note, Melanie continued, we have serious concerns about Ms. Vance's impulse control and anger, not Mr. Vance's. We are countering with a motion for a court-mandated psychiatric and anger evaluation for Ms. Vance. Alara actually gasped. Her lawyer looked annoyed. Baseless, a diversion tactic. Is it? Melanie asked, walking to the table. Your Honor, my client didn't start documenting his wife's behavior to divorce her. He started documenting it to show Dr. Reeves to get help for their marriage. He never had the chance. She produced a binder. The artifact, as some of you called it. Exhibit A, a series of time-stamped photos from January of this year. That is a hole in the drywall of the master bathroom, hidden behind a painting. It was caused by a full can of hairspray. Exhibit B, a repair receipt from Antique Radio Restore for $1,800, dated last March. Miss Vance, in a fit of anger over a canceled dinner reservation, swept my client's grandfather's 1940s-era radio off his desk, shattering the case. Exhibit C, a series of text messages from Miss Vance. I'm sorry I broke the radio. I just saw red. I'm sorry I screamed at your mother. She was just pushing my buttons. I'm sorry I threw the coffee mug. I'll clean up the kitchen. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Exhibit D, Melanie said, her voice dropping. We have a 30-second audio file. My client was in his office. Miss Vance was in the kitchen. In my state, one-party consent is legal for audio recording. She played it. You couldn't hear Alara's voice. You just heard a crash, a thud, another crash of glass. Then my voice, calm and tired. Alara, please stop. I'm just going to go for a drive. We can talk when you're calm and silence. Alara was vibrating. She was staring at Melanie with pure hatred. He's twisting it, she suddenly yelled, standing up. He provoked me. He knows how. He's cold and withholding, and he drives me to it. This is proof of his abuse, not mine. He collected this. He's a stalker. The judge, a woman in her 60s, just stared at Alara. She let the silence stretch. Ma'am, please sit down. Alara's lawyer was trying to get her to sit, but she was too far gone. He's the one with the problem, she shrieked, pointing at me. He's the angry one. I'm the victim. The judge banged her gavel. Miss Vance, sit down, or I will have you removed. Alara sat, breathing hard. The judge looked at Alara's lawyer. Your request for a restraining order is denied. Based on the evidence provided, Mr. Vance's removal from the home was a prudent act of de-escalation. Then she looked at Melanie. Your motion, however, is granted. Then she looked at Alara. Miss Vance, your outburst in this courtroom, coupled with the evidence of property destruction and your own admission that you saw red, is deeply concerning. Your claim that you are scared appears to be at best a projection. I am ordering you to enroll in and complete a 24-week anger management course. You will provide proof of enrollment to this court within 48 hours and proof of completion at the end. Failure to do so will be held in extreme prejudice against you in the final divorce settlement. We are adjourned. Alara's lawyer just dropped his pen. Alara's face, it wasn't anger, it wasn't sadness. It was the blank, white-hot panic of a cornered animal. The panic of someone who pulled the pin on a grenade and just realized she's still holding it. It's not over. I know this is just the beginning, but it's not the beginning of my end. It's the beginning of hers. Final update, it's been 6 months. I'm 42 now. I feel 52. The divorce was finalized last week. The beige hotel is finally in my rearview mirror. The anger management order sent Alara into a spiral, but not a spiral of self-reflection, a spiral of pure unfiltered entitlement. First, the class. She enrolled as ordered. But Melanie got a call from the program administrator about a month in. Alara wasn't participating, she was disrupting. She told the group and the therapist that she was the real victim and that her abusive husband had manipulated the court. She claimed the class was re-traumatizing her. She was 1 session away from being kicked out, which would have been contempt of court. Her lawyer, who was now charging her by the minute, had to beg them to let her stay, promising she'd be quiet. Second, the dirty tricks escalated. Since she couldn't get a restraining order, she tried to get me arrested. She called the non-emergency police line. She claimed I had hidden cameras in the house and was stalking her. A detective actually called me. I was terrified. Sir, we received a complaint. I cut him off. Detective, I am not in the house. I'm in a hotel. My wife and I are in a contentious divorce. Here's my lawyer's number. She has all the court documents, including the one that orders my wife to attend anger management for property destruction. I never heard from the detective again. Melanie, however, sent a very sharp letter to Alara's lawyer about filing false police reports. Third, the entitlement. The house. It was in both our names, though I'd made the down payment and paid the mortgage for 9 years. It had to be sold. Alara refused to allow the realtor inside. She changed the locks again. She missed 5 scheduled open houses. Her demand, through her lawyer, was that I had to buy her out at the absolute peak 2021 market value, which was about 150 kel more than it's worth now. Plus, she demanded a $200,000 lump sum for emotional distress and career stifling. She chose to work 10 hours a week at the gallery. This all led to a final, mandatory mediation. We sat at a long, polished table. Me, Melanie, Alara, and her lawyer. Alara's sister Leticia was also there, sitting in the corner for emotional support, which the mediator, an overwhelmed-looking man, had foolishly allowed. Alara looked rough. The stress had gotten to her, but she still had that smug, superior look. My client is the injured party here, her lawyer started. Mr. Vance's financial and emotional coldness. Melanie cut him off. We're not here to litigate emotions. We're here to divide assets. Your client has refused 11 showings. She is in contempt of the court's order to sell the house. She's not comfortable having strangers in her home. Leticia piped up from the corner. Julian is trying to make her homeless. Your sister will be silent, or she will leave, the mediator said, rubbing his temples. Alara spoke. I will not be lowballed. If you don't agree to my buyout, I'll tell everyone. I'll tell the papers what you did, how you collected those creepy photos, how you drove me to a breakdown. You're a stalker, Julian. I just looked at her. The woman I'd once loved. I'm not playing this game, Alara, I said. My voice was flat. Here is the deal. We sell the house at fair market value, now. We split the proceeds 50-50, after I am reimbursed. Reimbursed for what? Her lawyer sneered. For the 6 months of hotel bills I've paid since your client filed a fraudulent restraining order, Melanie said, sliding a stack of receipts across the table. For the cost of the drywall repair. For the cost of the curio cabinet glass. And, she added, sliding over one more invoice, for the $1,800 repair of Mr. Vance's grandfather's radio, which, by the way, is complete. Alara's face went purple. You're billing me? For a stupid old radio? Yes, I said. It was the only thing I asked you not to touch. It was the only thing in that house from my family. This is crap, she yelled. I want 70-30. I have no income. You made me dependent. You owe me. Miss Vance, Melanie said, you have a master's in art history. The court will not see you as dependent. They will impute an income for you, whether you earn it or not. You're underemployed. There's a big difference. I'm not agreeing. Alara shrieked, tears of pure rage in her eyes. I'll take this to trial. I sighed. I looked at her. Fine, I said. Let's go to trial, and we'll show the judge your report from the anger management class, the one you're about to fail. And we will have the realtor testify that you have denied access to the house 11 times in bad faith. And the judge will force the sale anyway. And you'll get less after we've both spent another $80,000 on lawyers. Your call, Alara. But this is the last deal you're getting. I stood up. Melanie, we're done here. Wait, Alara's lawyer said. He grabbed Alara's arm. They whispered furiously. Leticia was crying. Alara was not. She was just broken, defeated. She signed. The house sold. It sold for a disappointing price in this market. After the lawyer's fees, which were astronomical, and after my reimbursements were taken off the top before the split, her final check was not much. It was certainly not the golden parachute she'd been planning on. I'm in a new apartment now. It's clean, modern, and quiet. It's all mine. The repaired radio sits on my new bookshelf. It works perfectly. Divorce is expensive. I lost a lot of money. This isn't a winning story. I lost 9 years of my life to a lie. I'm in my own therapy now, trying to figure out why I let it go on so long, why I mistook her rage for passion, and my silence for patience. I heard through the grapevine that Alara and Leticia are roommates in a one-bedroom apartment across town. Alara had to get a full-time job as an administrative assistant. She apparently tells everyone at her new job that her abusive ex-husband, me, stole everything from her. Some people might even believe her. But I don't care. I'm free. I'm not on eggshells. I can buy whatever brand of oat milk I want, and my home is, for the first time in a decade, completely and totally peaceful.